CAS has been making quite a name for itself in another very exciting area of modern business activity, M&A, and specifically compiling an annual index of the best places in the world to do M&A. Anna Faelten from the CAS M&A Centre is here. Anna, where's the best place at the moment?
It continues to be the US, which I don't think comes as a surprise to anybody. But I think what's interesting about the index this year is we see the real emergence of Asia. Second in the index is Singapore. Fourth is Hong Kong, which UK comes in third. And then fifth you have South Korea, ninth China, and 10th Japan. So 5 of the top 10 positions in the world is now going to the Asian region.
Now, I remember this from last year, which was the first time you've published this, although you have compiled figures going back a lot further. And from what I recall, that means quite a lot of European nations must be falling.
That's right. So a lot of the Asian countries' emergence, should I say, comes at the expense of European countries, which again I think is kind of telling with what we're seeing being published elsewhere. One, I would say great example, but it probably isn't for the Greeks, is obviously Greece has fallen 12 positions in only 1 year, which is obviously due to their relative unattractiveness of their economic and financial state. And
who's going to use this information? I suppose what I'm asking here is, what is it that you're actually measuring? How can this be useful?
Okay, so what we're actually measuring is both a country's investment or attractiveness for investment and its sustainability for business purposes. So there are some indices out there that look at ease of business, for example, and there are others that look at investment attractiveness. And we try to combine that using our own proprietary methodology, but using publicly available data from things like the World Bank. Factors that we have identified as being important both for attracting investment and attractive, corporate activity, but also to sustain businesses. Because when you are performing an M&A in a foreign market, you're actually doing that for the foreseeable future. I mean, you're investing into a country, and that's not the end of the story. You're continuing to be part of that country's business culture. So the sustainability and the ease of doing that business is also very important. So that's what we're measuring, and I think it's a very good starting point, at least for corporate management teams looking for growth, which obviously is very top of the agenda for a lot of companies here in the West. Seeing where to go next. And also, if you have identified a certain region or a market, this index will very easily show what is the challenges, what are the opportunities in that market, because you can break it down depending on the factors score. So we actually have 5 different groups. We look at regulatory and political factors, we look at economic and financial factors, we look at the country's technological developments, its socio-economic developments, so the populations and demographics, and we also look at the infrastructure, the business infrastructure and the availability of assets. And in that, you can also break it down depending on the sub-factor score. So each of these factor groups have a lot of other, additional scores included in them, and you can actually break it down quite neatly and see where is the country scoring highly versus lowly, meaning where are the opportunities and where are perhaps the challenges.
Last question, just in 10 seconds. It's been a bad year for Greece in all sorts of ways. Any cheer for Greece in your index?
Unfortunately not. pretty stable in all the other areas, but the economic and financial is where they're sort of taking a beating. And unfortunately, no good news from our end for Greeks.
Full details of the research available on the website?
That's correct. We have available on our website, so the M&A Research Centre on website part of CAS. There's also an interactive index which is created by Ernst, which is one of our sponsors, that can be found on www.M&amaturity.com.
Anna Faelten, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.